Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Vertex eSports, and welcome to another round of the Vertex Mixed Bag World Cup. Boy, it's loud here tonight, isn't it? My name is Chaz Draycott, and welcome to the fifth round of this fantastic and very, very interesting championship that is keeping drivers on their toes. So far this season, we've had GT3 cars at Imola, we have had Rallycross cars at Iowa, we have also had the NASCAR Next Gen? No, the NASCAR Next Gen machinery at New Hampshire, which was the last round 2 weeks ago. And now, as you can see, we're in the UMP Modified at Limaland. An absolutely deceiving oval, I think, is the best way of explaining this place. Very, very easy to get it wrong here. Guys are just out at the moment in practice ahead of qualifying. And we'll have a quick look at who is doing what. Jason Glenn, the fastest at the moment. Here's Aaron Smith, your two-time Vertex Stock Car Cup champion. Look at these things. Don't they look absolutely bonkers? Aaron's trying to come to terms with it. We did a special event on the dirt in the trucks a long time ago with Chris Dawes on the commentary with me. And these guys were absolutely amazing. Aaron won that as well. But Jason Glenn is your championship leader at the moment. He has a wonderful 4-point gap. He's got 171 points. Ben Kriener has 167. Aaron Smith, the man we were looking at there, is third. Here is Ben Kriener, who is second this season. Just bear with me a second, one sec. I need to just check that something in the livery files is working here, so that Trading Paints gets the right liveries. Because we can't have them showing it wrong, can we? Anyway, Ben Kriener second in the championship, Aaron Smith in third. He is only 3 points behind Kriener and 2 points ahead of Brian Crowles in the number 48. Alex Cedric is then fifth. He's 4 points back, and then it's 17 points to Mark Murphy, who is sixth in the all-black machine. Stealthmobile is number 58, I can tell you that. But that's Cedric there down his inside in the number 9. He has not put a single lap in yet as Alex, other than the ones that he's done in this session. This is what it looks like on board these crazy, crazy things. They're absolutely nuts. Look at them. You can't explain that. It's about 13 seconds a lap. We're going to have qualifying and then 2 heats and then a feature race. I believe all drivers will go through to the feature. Oh, there's a very slippy line out there at the moment. Everyone's tried to use the outside. You can see there on the right, look, where the dirt has been worn away. Alex now riding the wall, getting into that groove up high. It's a right workout. We've got Pete Harrod back with us. Oh, as he gets a bit of a tap there off Jason Glenn in the track velocity machine. And the number 55. But yes, we have Pete Harrod back with us tonight from Pure Sims. Great to see Pete there. I actually saw Pete just last week on Saturday night at Century Sim Racing. It's been a very, very long time since I've seen Pete, so it was wonderful to see him again and all the guys there. But it's Jason Glenn, your championship leader, currently the pace setter in this at the moment. Look at the speed that he's carrying around there. As you can see, the back end is not stepping out as he goes around that groove. It is there, but the first time round he was driving it almost conventionally. You know, there was no slide. Look, watch here. Oh, he's not doing it now. He's actually staying away from that groove. Harrod improves and goes second, just 37 thousandths off the top spot. All 8 of them are only covered by half a second as well, so this is going to be very feisty. We're only going to have a couple of cars in each heat, but it's still going to be very entertaining. They just look great, don't they? We look back at Justin Nair, track velocity racing car with Next Level. And the very blue roll cage on that thing. It's almost glow in the dark, isn't it? It's like ultraviolet. Oh, there's contact with Jason Glenn. Oh, and Justin's gone over. The two of them clipping through one another again. Maybe iRacing not quite got the contact right on that. There's Brian Crowell's livery. The big 48. Ben Kriener in the 95. He's representing a new team as well from this round onwards. HPD Yaz Pro Europe. It's either Yaz or Jazz. We were talking about that earlier, whether it is Yaz or Jazz, but I think it's Jazz. They used to run the Hondas in the British Touring Car Championship, did the Jazz team. Look at the angle that Ben's getting. Well, that's too much angle, but it's just a mental amount of angle. These cars literally, especially this one, they do look like big cheese wedges, don't they? They look very sort of, I built this in my shed at home. Like you see that guy that turns up on a track day where he's got something like a Lotus Elan underneath or an Esprit, and then he just makes his own bodywork and thinks he's an aerodynamics engineer. Jason asking if there's any blinking from him. Doesn't look like it, mate. There was a bit earlier, but none since then. It seems like it's okay now. But yeah, Jason Glenn's been a star so far this season. Leads the championship overall. 4 points ahead of Ben Kriener. So if he finishes ahead of anyone tonight, he needs to make sure it's Ben. He's got 7 points over Aaron Smith. And he's got 9 points over Brian Crowell. So it's very close between those guys. As the boss. I wonder what Alex is making of these cars so far. There's just not a single panel on them that visually makes sense. They're just all on an angle and all out of kilter. Oh, speaking of out of kilter, Justin Nair has looped it. There is a real... Oh, hello. There is a real art form to racing on dirt because the groove changes as the race goes on. While the dirt does get spat up to the high line, it's amazing how iRacing have done this, by the way. They really have nailed it, but you can sort of wear all of the dirt away and it becomes really wet and slippery underneath, and then the back end will step out way more and there is no grip. You can see the line there on the outside where it's lighter. You may see a bit of the reflection on it there, just at the top of your shot, where it just isn't quite as grippy. It gets very slippery and slick underneath where all of the dirt has been compressed and most of the surface has been worn away. I'm not seeing any improvements for a little bit. It's Justin Nair's gone for another spin there, I'm afraid. Pete Harrod getting right up in that high line. Now they try and use that outside line for traction. They dig the rear wheels into the dirt and try and get the punch out of the corner. Pete really fighting this. Now he's on a direct drive wheel, I can tell you. I think he's got an AccuForce wheel as Pete. He's really wrestling it. We'll go on board with Pete, in fact. It's the fact that they can bounce off the wall like that and carry on. But there's that slick line. You get next to no grip on it. There it is again on the way in. Unbelievable. Listen to the mayhem. It's bonkers. And you can see a difference in those two lines as well there. Through 3 and 4. You can even see it here in 1 and 2. There's a darker line in the middle where there's just that patch where the drivers haven't done it. Either that or the inside line guys have kicked the dirt up into the middle of the road as Pete hits the wall a couple of times and then decides to... No, he doesn't call it quits yet. He carries on. No, he does slow it down and pulls it over ASAP. It's such a lively sport. But as I've said, iRacing doing a wonderful job with the dirt. It's been highly commended since the day it came out. It's a lot of fun. Even if you don't race it competitively, it's a lot of fun to race on the dirt. Even if it's not for you, do give it a go as this is coming together. Smith just through the middle. Calm as you like. Now both of these bits of content are free, by the way. The UMP Modified car and Limaland, both free. So if you do want to try it out and you do want to give dirt a go, try it in these cars, honestly. They may not be the most appealing things to look at, but they are awesome fun. Absolutely awesome fun. As we just watch Aaron Smith gliding that thing around. There's Jason Glenn with what's left of the front end. Thankfully it's the bit with my logo on it. But these things are built to last. They're certainly sturdy. Chases down Justin Nair. Look how sideways they are as well. And how much they wrestle the wheel in these things is just bonkers. They don't just turn left and then style it out by turning right. They sort of adjust constantly mid-corner. They adjust on the power. There's the slick bit catching the rear end out on Jace's car. Oh, big hit to the wall. Oh, and a big hit to Justin. Carries on. There's not going to be any giving up tonight. We've got the sheen on the surface now as well, as the sun is going down, I believe, so we may get nighttime running. It's very slick on that back straight now, and very slick on the exit of there. Oh, that's not so slick from Jason, but thankfully for him, that is the end of the session. So we get lone qualifying now from all of these guys. So we'll have a look at Mark Murphy, who is going to be one of the first guys out. We'll go on a bit of a wider angle. Look how shiny that circuit is there. It looks wonderful. So here goes Mark Murphy on a lap. You can see the whole circuit pretty much from this camera. If you go on the TV3 camera, that's how small the circuit is, look. Mark has clipped the wall on his first lap. Look how sideways it gets there, and it's away from him. Oh, and he's around, and that's the start of his second lap as well, I believe. So maybe no luck from him. Brian Crowles has just gone fastest. Has Aaron Smith beaten him? He has, by 0.4 of a second. Jason Glenn, championship leader, has gone quickest. Now what can Pete Harrod do? He crosses the line. No time from him. This is his first timed lap now. He's using that low line, keeping it nice and smooth. Cross the line he goes. Third fastest at the moment, 0.4 off Glenn. 0.3 off Smith. I think that's the end of it for Pete, is it? They seem to still be going, so I think they get a few more laps. Ben Kriener is now starting his qualifying run. Sounds fantastic. Looks like something out of Robot Wars, doesn't it? Across the line goes Ben. Where does that put him? Third place for Ben Kriener. Now, what is Cedric going to do? Is he going to start from the back? Aaron Smith is just carrying on. He's just putting the laps in. Look at this. Oh, he's properly in the wall there. You can see the double wishbone suspension working away there. Bilstein shock absorbers as well. And the springs compressing up and down. Gotta love the inner workings of this. iRacing certainly does a good job of it, doesn't it? Look at that. Now Cedric is going for a lap actually, and I think he's done a lap, you know. He has, and I don't think it's counted. Yeah, he's obviously got an incident point or something somewhere. And I'm afraid it has not counted for Alex Sedgwick. And it's a very strange looking rear end of these cars. But that's the view from the top of the grandstands. Again, how tiny a circuit we have here at Limaland. It looks and sounds great, doesn't it? Hope you're enjoying the show there, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening. Make sure you do like this video as well, whether you be on Facebook, whether you are on the YouTube channel as well. And make sure that you do subscribe to Vertex eSports. We're looking to get over that 100 subscriber mark, and if you want to get involved, head over to the link which is in the description for these videos, where you can join in this championship. Even if you want to just enter one round, there's plenty of stuff coming up that could go anybody's way. Aaron's just chucking this car at the scenery at the moment. It's great to watch him still going, isn't it? he's just running down the session with all this time. I think he's got another... Yeah, it's only another 30 seconds left, to be fair to him. Still, good showmanship there from Aaron Smith, as he now coasts his way down the pit lane and into his box. You can't mistake which one is his, and that is going to be the end of qualifying. You can see the crowd there. Some of them can't put their arms down. Overly excited, maybe. Hopefully we will be back to crowds of this size. Looks like we have everybody going through from one heat here. Jason Glenn and Aaron Smith on the front row. Then it's Ben Kriener and Pete Harrod on row 2, with Brian Crowles in 5th, Justin Nyer in 6th. Alex Sedgwick and Mark Murphy round out the back of your grid. They sound fantastic, don't they? Even just on idle, they sound very good indeed. Again, this championship will prove to you that you do not need a massive grid of cars to have a good time. All 8 of them now on the grid, and Jason Glenn will, I was going to say lead the field away, but the official iRacing pace truck will do that job. Look at the cars wobbling around on the suspension as they just jump forward and back. I believe we'll get 2 warm-up laps here, or pace laps as they're known. Pops and bangs aplenty from all of them. Although the lights are already out in the pace truck, so they may just get this underway very, very quickly indeed. It may pull off in an unrealistic fashion, as it often does. With a sudden turn to the left. Now I think we'll get another one, as Aaron Smith has a little blink in and out there. Now Jason Glenn will hold the field up high. The pace truck goes in. And for round 5 of the Vertex Mixed Bag World Cup, we're underway at Limaland. It's a fantastic start around the outside for Aaron Smith. Ben Kriener looks down the inside of Jason Glenn. Brian Crowles side by side with Pete Harrod. But now this is the pendulum effect. Harrod tries to go around the outside. He's going to carry the corner exit speed. Look at that, through the middle of Sedgwick and Nyer. Bit of an overlap. He actually hit the wall on the way in. Aaron Smith's done that now, and Nyer has gone down the inside, tried to overtake Brian Crowles. Smith in trouble further back. Harrod tries to scoop through the middle. He's been hit by Mark Murphy. This is the thing, they all overlap on one another, and when you're a little bit inexperienced in these cars, it certainly shows. But Jason Glenn doing a stunning job at the moment, just in front of Ben Kriener. There is his initial target then. It looks like the track has been sort of recombed for this race. So they have all the grip back from what they would have had earlier on. Sedgwick getting a workover from Harrod. He's now right behind Justin Nyer. Harrod has to get out of it. Murphy has to get out of it. They're 3 wide. Wonderful little undercut there by Pete Harrod. He's actually gone really down low now. That low line. Sedgwick gets the cut back on Murphy. Look at the different exit speeds. It's incredible. So watch the number 9 on the outside there. Alex Sedgwick, the black number 9. Despite taking a much wider line, he just gets a completely different exit speed. Murphy has to get out of it. Sedgwick gets a good run. He's going to go down the inside of Nyer. Bit of a touch. Through he goes, trying to work his way up through the field. Oh, Murphy's come up and hit Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith now in the wall again, and again, big bounce for him. Bit of a nightmare race at the moment for Aaron Smith. But at the front, Jason Glenn still leading the way. Ben Kriener in 2nd, Brian Crowles in 3rd, and then it's Alex Sedgwick and everybody else. Justin Nyer trying to go with him, Aaron Smith trying to go past Pete Harrod. It's all well and good being able to get these cars around the circuit quickly, but when you're racing, there's such an art form to it. And Aaron Smith, I imagine, is the sort of guy that knows what he's doing in these things. He's overtaken Mark Murphy, albeit with a friendly tap to remind him that he's there. Make sure it's pointed where he wants it, tries to get a good run. Murphy and Harrod came together as well there. Look at Aaron Smith making this low line work though. But then Justin Nyer gets the cutback on him. Now Aaron switches to the higher line, tries to carry the speed, gets an undercut on Justin. Lovely stuff. Gains the place and goes after his Vertex Stock Car Cup dancing partner Alex Sedgwick. Harrod's gone wide and into the wall as well. 20 laps per heat here. Oh, there's going to be contact there. Murphy's had a bit of a highly angled run, and it's not helped Harrod at all. Jason Glenn, doing a smashing job at the moment. He leads the championship from Ben Creaner, and he also leads this race from Ben Creaner. So this is doing wonders for this championship. Aaron Smith is their next competitor in the standings, but we all know how clever Aaron can be about running a race evening the way he wants to. Can Aaron do anything about Cedric? He's certainly trying. It'd kill your arms doing this, wouldn't it? It looks to me like he's definitely closing. There's some slippy bits there. He's taken to the high line just to get a bit of a run. Just to maybe build up a bit more speed. Takes that low line again. Oh, we've got a yellow. Mark Murphy has had an incident. That helps Aaron Smith. So happened to Mark Murphy. He's got a big angle going on there. And again. Oh, he's lost it one way then the other. Oh, and he's just spun it around. And whoa, nearly in front of the leaders. Jason Glenn has apparently had an issue. No, never mind. It's just been the yellow flag is moving the timing about. So, most of the way through this one, we'll only have a couple of laps left to go. None of the yellow flag laps count, I don't think. I think it gets extended, as you can see here. Yeah, look now, when everyone goes back, them going up and down the timing is it re-ticking the laps back, you see. Single file restart. Jason Glenn will get back underway. He tries to dummy Creaner into it. Creaner gives him a bit of a tap. Cedric gives Krauls a bit of a tap. Krauls gives the wall a bit of a tap. And is Cedric going to hit Creaner? Creaner's gone down the inside of Glenn. That's not worked for him. Cedric's ahead of Krauls, albeit with a bit of contact. Look at them all. Oh, and Smith's been argy-bargied out of the way by Justin Nair. So Smith now back down the order. Krauls gets out of the way. Nair goes up down the inside. Oh, Brian's been well and truly elbowed there. Smith now trying to push around the outside. Harrod in there as well. Smith tries to get around him. Oh, how did you do that? For the lead, though. Jason Glenn goes on to the last lap of the race, but hits the wall. Creaner's going to go down the inside of him. Murphy's had an accident. Murphy's gone back to the pits. But it looks like, from the first race of the night, it's going to be Jason Glenn from Ben Creaner from Alex Cedric. Fantastic stuff. Aaron Smith is best of the rest out of Justin Nair, Pete Harrod and Brian Krauls. Well. Wow, oh wow. What a lively race that was. Let's have a look what happened to Mark Murphy at the end. Oh, we can't. Never mind. Now we have warm-up ahead of the feature race, I believe. They might actually all go through to the feature. Excuse me for showing this up. Yes, a number of the heats have been skipped because they have enough drivers to just go straight to the feature. So I think what that heat would have done then is organise the grid for the final race. So that effectively was a glorified qualifying session. As we see Ben Creaner out doing some laps. We'll go over the result of that heat. Jason Glenn took the win from pole position ahead of Ben Creaner, who we see here wall riding. Nearly 3/4 of a second between them. Alex Cedric ended up third from the back of the grid. Aaron Smith was fourth, with Justin Nair in fifth place. Pete Harrod in sixth. Brian Krauls was seventh, and Mark Murphy unfortunately retired near the end. just gone back out on track as Jason Glenn. I was just about to say we'll drag him in for a quick chat. I'll check whether he's free for one now. Actually, Jason, are you able to speak while you drive, my friend?
I can give it a go, aye.
How are you finding these cars, mate? Because you seem to have it all under control there, but it doesn't seem like it's as easy as it looks.
No, you're kind of yeah, you're just turning right all the time. You're turning right to the left.
Lightning McQueen style, eh?
Yes, exactly. Who was it, Doc, that told you to do that? Oh, they're good fun though, but it's how you overtake. I don't know. You have to do big slide jobs and yeah, it's good fun though. It's definitely a different kind of except when you hit the wall like that.
Yeah, it's a different bag, isn't it? Because I mean, when we saw the overtaking in that race there, all it takes is for somebody to get a good run around the outside and carry the exit speed. But they can get held up by somebody taking the title line and then washing up in front of them because they've got the track position. There really is an art to it, isn't there?
Yeah, you kind of, if you throw it up the inside, you're basically trusting the fact that the guy up at the top is not going to ram into you because you're going to end up parking it in front of him. But yeah, we'll see. Of course, the next race is 50 laps, so I'm sure it will make it interesting because the track changes a lot. The more laps people do, it just completely wears away all the dirt, and you end up, the top line becomes really, really slippy.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how it lasts over a longer race.
And of course, how people react to the sort of tighter line as well, because you know it's easier to hold this thing at a higher speed because you've got less angle. But when you get to that lower angle, as we were discussing in the driver's briefing, you know, when you're going slowly and it suddenly starts to rotate, it does just go around this thing. So
yeah,
it's going to be focusing. But I'll chuck you back in there, Jason, so you can get some more laps under. But thanks very much and good luck.
Oh yeah, cheers, mate.
Cheers. Championship leader Jason Glenn there, really top bloke. Great of him to speak to us while still driving. Good looking car that as well. That's not just because it's got my logo on. Here's his teammate Brian Crowles, who had an interesting race, to say the least. Plenty going on for Brian in that one. And a very glossy number 48 machine. He's going to be hoping that it stays that way all the way through what is going to be a 50-lap feature race, as you heard from Jason. And we, of course, hope that we will keep you enthralled all the way through it. Still not quite got used to how these cars look yet. I don't think I will do for quite a while. As Brian gets a little bit too much angle on it, takes the cone with him, but carries on. And then across the line, and I think we're going to be near the end of warm-up now. I think with 5 minutes. Either that or we're going to have another 5 minutes. Let's just have a quick look. And that is the end of the session. So Aaron Smith will disappear anytime now. I said now. And we will now have the grid for the final race, the feature. Jason Glenn starts on pole position and Ben Kriener alongside him. Then it's Alex Sedgwick and Aaron Smith. Justin Nair alongside Pete Harrod. Brian Crowles will start 7th ahead of Mark Murphy. But as we saw or heard from Jason Glenn, 50 laps this time. So a lot more to think about in the way of preserving maybe the tyres, the surface itself. You may see drivers taking a lower line just to help keep that high line as grippy as possible, but you never know. You never know what could happen here. So Ben Kriener looking to close that championship gap to Jason Glenn. Jason 4 points clear at the top at the moment. We still have a number of rounds of the championship left to go. This is round 5. It's a 10-round season. We've got 6, 7 and 8 at Montreal in 2 weeks. in the V8 supercars. And we've got Pro 4 trucks at Crandon, and then what's called the Legacy Lucky Dip. So it's going to be a random combination that nobody knows yet for the final round. But Jason Glenn's going to get us underway here in the feature. Cedric pushing him hard down the inside. We're underway at Limaland. Look at that, Cedric instantly taking the low line and getting a good jump off it. Kriener tries to go with him, it doesn't work. Naya and Krauls, two teammates having contact behind. Harrod's gone slow down the inside, he's got to try and get past Mark Murphy. Looks like hard work to me. Ben Kriener still trying to squeeze past Jason Glenn. Aaron Smith is trying to make it work on Cedric as well. Look at the difference though. Ben Kriener down the inside, tighter line, shorter distance, but Jason Glenn's got higher average speed as here comes Krauls up into Smith, who's hit Cedric. This is the thing, once you've got that slide and you have to get out of it, it's such a painful experience to then try and not straighten the car up too much. I really don't know how the guys at the top level do this. Now Kriener, comes up high into Jason Glenn. Jason's up in the air, into the wall hard, and he keeps it in the wall. Jason's lost the lead, and not only that, he's lost second and third place. Oh, it's going from bad to worse for him. How broken is the car? Even more now. He's had a hit off Justin Naya. Oh, that absolutely snowballed for him. It was contact with Kriener. Kriener washed up wide in front of him, and he's had the same again. He's last now. First to last challenge. Never mind last to first challenge for Jason Glenn. I imagine he'll feel hard done by that contact with Ben Kriener. But Ben leads the way. Cedric second. Krauls third. Smith says no, I'm third, Chaz. And Brian says no, I'm third, Chaz. Great commitment on that high line from him. Gotta love that. Brian Krauls just trying to make that middle line work at the moment. Riding up a little bit to squeeze Aaron. There's contact with the wall, and that gives Krauls the place. Or does it? Oh, Smith tries to squeeze up to the line, doesn't work for him. Pete Harris trying to get past Mark Murphy. Jason Glenn, I think, has got a bit of damage. Tips the car in to try and get a low line run on these guys. Look at that, he's carrying a lot of speed low down, but he just cannot get the rotation he needs as Harrod and Murphy go side by side. It's going a bit more slick up there. Harrod slots in front of him, gets a hit on the rear. We need to look further up though, because Krauls and Smith still going at it. Krauls really close to the wall. Up high, gets the run into the back of Smith. Smith's in third, but now he's kissed the wall again. Krauls goes down to the low line this time. Tries to make that work. Smith gets the run. This is all helping Ben Kriener, because Cedric can't quite catch up to him yet. Although Aaron Smith did the fastest lap of the three of them last time round. Aaron's really coming to a groove here. He's suddenly found something that works. 13.9s and 14 zeros for the cars ahead. Aaron's been doing 13.8s. He continues the pace as Mark Murphy's had an off. I think he's looped it again here, unfortunately. Let's have a look. Seems okay from there. Looks absolutely fine, to be honest. Oh, he corrects it, goes up into the wall. He's kept his foot in it. Oh, and it's gone around. And that's what's brought out the yellow. I've got Jason Glenn in the pits, presumably to get a fast repair. Yep, there you go. He's fixed that right rear. Is it bad that I couldn't tell that the car was that damaged? Justin Naya also in the pits, ready to leave. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but that car is not behaving itself, is it? It's got such a strange movement. What's he doing? Oh, is that his box there? Oh, you have to park on like an angle or something in these, I think. I can't remember what it is. Either way, Justin's having a nightmare. A nightmare. He's now dropped down. As you can see, all of them filtering through because it's counting the laps back. What's happening there is people are crossing the line and completing the lap they're on. And then just after they do it, because the pace laps don't count, it's then chucking them a lap back, so that's why it's changing them in the order. So, still a long way left of this race to go yet. Another 35 laps, and Ben Kriener is going to get lap 15 underway from the head of the field, and Sedgwick early doors goes down the inside and gets in front of him, and he's been turned. Oh, manages to hold on. Aaron Smith through the middle says thank you very much. Ben Kriener goes up, says no, not in your life, watch this. Ben's known for getting his elbows out, and he's not scared to do it here, is he? Brian Krause is in this as well. He could potentially take a win here, could Brian, if he's just sneaky enough about it. Sedgwick just behind with Pete Harrod. Everybody on the lead lap, it seems. Oh, look at that cutback from Kriener. Contact with Krause, puts him up to the wall in front of Smith. They've both lost out big time because of that. Sedgwick up to second, Justin Nair on Mark Murphy. And Jason Glenn just behind. This is crazy stuff. It's difficult to know what's fair and what's not really, isn't it? These guys at the back are all fighting for it. Justin Nair goes to a low line. Oh, he doesn't get the rotation on the car that he wants. Jason Glenn tries to go with him. Looks like he's got it to work, but only just. Now, Ben Kriener in the HPD Jazz Pro Europe car. At the front has over-rotated it for one. Sedgwick into the side of him. Alex says, get in that wall, Ben, not in your life. Surely we're going to have a yellow as Ben's car stationary. Oh, contact with Harrod. Yes, indeed there is. And that's the best way to put it. Let's have a look then what happened here. So, if you look there, we'll go in slow-mo. Ben chucks the car in. It's a nice run off that corner. Points it where he needs. But watch Ben now in the 95. Catches the slippy part on the circuit there, the lighter texture that you can see. Gets way too much angle on it. He tries to straighten it up and get the slide. Alex has gone down the inside, and it's rear right to front left, and they're both just locked together. They keep making more and more contact. They eventually get loose. Alex slows it down and chucks it left. Ben bounces off the wall, which puts him sideways anyway. Spins him around, and then he gets clouted by Brian Krause, who then hits Aaron Smith, and then poor Pete Harrod comes in. Ben's already got the lock left and just touches the back end of Pete's car. And that was all she wrote. So Sedgwick, the second driver tonight to take the lead with contact involved. You are going to get contact in this lot though, because let's face it, the overlap that you see from all of these different racing lines is incredible. As everybody now ticks over once again. Lap 21 out of 50. Nearly at the halfway mark of this race. And Alex gets him going again. I don't think Brian knew that that was it. Brian's been really caught napping there. And now everyone has to go after him. Look at Aaron Smith using that high line as much as he can. Justin Nair tries to go past Pete Harrod down the inside. Ben Kriener and Jason Glenn now both having to make their way back through the field. Jason Glenn is ahead of Ben Kriener once again now. So for the championship, that's great. Oh, it's Justin Nair has contact with Harrod. Where's he gone? In the pits, back at the pits. Oh, nearly into Kriener. I don't know how we got away with that. Krause is second. Smith is trying to push so hard. The body language of Smith's car says, I'm on my way. Glenn having a good fight with Pete Harrod. Pete hanging it up near the wall, but look at the run he gets. Oh! Squeezes between the wall and Jason Glenn, although Harrod's in the wall. Oh, we've got Mark Murphy around again. Mark Murphy is off. I say off, they're all on the dirt. He's having a fight with Justin Naya further back. Turns it in. Oh, again. Just that slippy part there. Sort of 2/3 of the way up the road. And then he's got back on with it, and I think he's done the same again here. He has, unfortunately. Straight away, Cedric slams on, just misses him. Wow, Crowles sneaks past. But we have another yellow. They're over the halfway point now. Just gotta love these things on barely any revs, just the crackling and banging from them all. It sounds great. So the lights are out on the pace truck. We're going to get going again. Cedric will lead them. Crowles needs to go with him this time. Crowles is ready for it. Oh, there's contact with Harrod and Smith. Harrod just headbutts Aaron Smith in the final corner. Oh, Naya's got nowhere to go. Harrod around the outside of Kriener. Naya right down the inside of Kriener. Jason Glenn back up into 4th place now. I think Mark Murphy has unfortunately parked it. He has. It's the end of his night. As Kriener's had a nightmare there after kissing the wall, comes back around. But it's Cedric that leads the way, car 9. Giving the wall a bit of a tap. You can see where they've got those big extended plates on them. But look at the high line now going into there. Justin Naya's pulled over. I think he might have got a penalty, you know, for overtaking at the start. Because the cars in front of him obviously made contact and slowed down. I think he went down the inside of one of them before the line. I'm wondering whether that will have gotten him a penalty. But that high line is getting very, very slippery now. The lighter part of the mud is where it's most slippy, and it will just rotate the car way, way too much. You can hear Kriener smacking the wall. He's ahead of Jason Glenn now. He's just got it done here. Oh, Jason just bounces off the wall very hard indeed. It is easy to push too hard in these things, it really is. Now Aaron Smith and Brian Crowles are shaping up to have a bit of a fight here, with Ben Kriener thrown in there as well. That's music to Alex Cedric's ears, because he can break away. We're on lap 35 out of 50, so only 15 laps to go. Look at Kriener, he's really closing in on this now, isn't he? Aaron Smith's around here somewhere. There he is. Ben's making that lower line work. Look at that, down the inside. He's actually ahead of Aaron Smith, or is he? Aaron's got the run into the back of Brian. Brian's sideways, and he's around, and that's surely going to be a yellow. Yep, it is. Now, Aaron was nice and friendly about that because he knew that Brian was going around after the contact. So Brian loses a lot of momentum there. He kisses the wall, and then there's a second touch, I think, from Aaron. Brian 360s and then goes around. So look, that angle there is what Brian wanted. There's the wall, and there's the hit from Aaron. It's a tiny touch, but no matter what you do, it goes around hard. And they get a little bit of a momentary rest, we could say. Car's looking nice and mucky now, the circuit looking worn as well. Look at all the light patches there where the dirt has really been rubbed away. Some of them just trying to make the most of that high line. You'd think they'd want to leave it, you know, for the race. You'd want to leave it, and if you can, just try and flick any little bits up there from the lower line. It's just Naya gets the wave around. Lights are out on the pace truck, so we'll get one more now before we go back to green. Justin doesn't have too fast catch up, I suppose, let's face it. Just see him on the back straight now. Oh, the lights are still on the pace truck, apologies. Right, Justin has caught back up with the train now. We go across the line. Lights are out on the pace truck, I can confirm. And we're going to get ready for a start. A very glossy high line. You can see the shine now. The lights have come on. Cedric's going to put his foot down. There he goes. Gets on with it. Kriener's up to third. He's still in a good position to get some strong championship points. Jason Glenn and Pete Harrod made contact, I think, back there. Brian Crowles and Jason Glenn close together as well. Trying not to hit the wall. Brian nearly spins it. Justin Nye goes into him. Justin holds on to it. Jason goes around the outside. Then Pete Harrod tries to go with him. That's not quite worked for him. Ben Kriener's down the inside of Aaron Smith. He's going to block him off on the exit. Gets second place, but very sideways mid-corner there. Ben is on an absolute mission here. The red mist has descended on the red dashboard and roll cage of the car. But look at that middle line. That's getting slippier as well. Jason Glenn and Pete Harrod really up high. They're making that high line work, you know. When they're not in the slippy bit, it's great. Down the inside of Aaron Smith. That's not quite worked this time. On the power again. This is still anybody's guess, this. Pete Harrod using all of it up there. Oh, a bit too much of it. Pete smacks it into the wall. Wow, that's a big hit. These cars are so sturdy, it continues. Cedric on lap 42. Just about to start lap 43 as they cross the line now. Ben Kriener is so close to him. He's absolutely attached to the Vertex Simulators car. Ooh. Oh, Ben's gone in and drilled him. There was the tiniest of touches before that, and there's a touch behind as well. That's Jason Glenn on Aaron Smith. This is very feisty stuff. Ben Kriener just shovels Alex out of the way. I'm sure Alex won't take that lying down. As we've got a yellow. We've got a yellow. Who is it around? Brian Crowles has had an off. Pete Harrod, I think, as well, may be involved. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, Brian's gone around. Pete's gone into him. It's just those little moments that can cause a yellow. But we're right near the end of the race now. Sedgwick back ahead of Kriener, interestingly. The yellow flag came out. And I think it was from the last time they crossed the line, maybe? Interesting. But Cedric is now back at the front of the field. Now the circuit really is getting worn down. You'll see it as he crosses the line here. Look how shiny that line is there. There you go. It's almost twice the width of the car. That really shiny, greasy, slick line. We've barely got any of the race left to go as well, so this is going to be a sudden dash to the end. I'm intrigued to see whether Kriener does continue to get his elbows out here. He's a very feisty young racer, is Ben. I think Alex is going to get us underway this time around. He is. He goes, kicks the back end out very suddenly, gets a good move on. Smashing start from him. What can Aaron Smith do now? Ben chucks it in a little bit hard first time round. Smith's going to get a good run out the corner. Jason Glenn and Pete Harrod were side by side. Jason gets a great run off the corner, clips the wall a little bit. Harrod and Naya are close together as well. We need to keep our eye on this though, because Jason Glenn down the inside of Aaron Smith. He sort of needs to leave Aaron to it. If he wants to close that championship points gap, he needs to count on Aaron getting ahead of Ben Carina. But Jason's taking matters into his own hands here. Oh, Crowell's very sideways there in the background. Pete Harrod's in the wall. Gets going again. There's more contact with Crowells and Naya. Those two are teammates at Track Velocity Racing. Cedric leads the race. Carina second. Smith third. Glenn fourth. Alex is about to start the final lap now. What can any of these boys do? Are there going to be any final lap heroics? White flag is in the air for Alex Sedgwick. Glenn goes down the inside of Smith. Smith's going to get a good run on the exit. Is Glenn going to do it? We have to look to the front though, because Alex Sedgwick is going to come out the final corner and take the win. Carina's going to be second. Who's going to be third? It's half of Aaron Smith's car. Jason Glenn fourth. Justin Naya gets fifth. Brian Crowells and what's left of his car gets sixth. And Pete Harrod survives to be seventh. But Alex Sedgwick getting the job done. Wow, what a lively race that was. As he does the donuts on the dirt. Does Alex Sedgwick. Let's have a look at those last few laps again. That was phenomenal racing. Watch the back end kick out here. Ready? Bang. On it. And they're alive. Jason Glenn, championship leader. He's lost a number of points to Ben Carina in that, but I'm sure he'll still have enjoyed himself. Alex is apparently still out there doing some form of donut. I'll see it again. This is the moment he crossed the line and took the win. That's great with the lights on, doesn't it? And there you go. Aaron Smith. What was left of Aaron's car just about made it across the line. Alex and Ben there, a bit of camaraderie at the end as well. And there's the donuts. Oh, we didn't see that bit, did we? Or I didn't, anyway. He's doing a victory lap or a lap of honour, I think. Is he just trying to 360 it? Not quite sure what he's doing, but he's just drifting it everywhere he can. This is the point where he then crept back into the pits, isn't it? Wonderful. Wonderful stuff. So, here is your final result of the evening then. Look at that with the lights on there. Everyone with the camera flashes out. Alex Sedgwick takes the win from Ben Carina and Aaron Smith. A very, very common podium on the Vertex scene. Jason Glenn in fourth, championship leader, will be a little bit gutted. He's lost a few points to Ben there. Justin Naya is fifth. Brian Crowells finishes sixth in a Track Velocity Racing trio. Pete Harrod finishes seventh, and unfortunately, we lost Mark Murphy before the end of the race. But a very entertaining one all the same, and a man that was fighting tooth and nail till the very end of that race with plenty of work to do is Ben Carina. Ben, talk me through that, mate, because that looked absolutely hilarious fun.
Yeah, it was good. Questionable caution rules about positions is what I will say though. They do it much like Euro NASCAR do in the real world, where it goes back to the end of the last completed lap.
Yes, I thought it was
a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, it was a really, really bad timing. So I managed to get a move on Alex, and then before he could complete the lap, the caution was thrown. So, but that was I mean, these guys are good to race with. They're reliable. You know what you can and cannot get away with. And these cars were a bit of an unknown for everyone, and we all just had a laugh, which is good fun, really.
Yeah, that's it. You know, everybody in this series, there's a great community behind it, and at the same time, while it's a shame about the sort of count back rule on the laps, it sort of makes sense in the way that because the laps are so short here, you can imagine that people may misinterpret it a little bit if someone crosses the line and someone doesn't. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
It's understandable in a way.
It's also true the fact that you can sometimes have cars going 3, even 4 wide, and they're all at like 45-degree angles. So trying to decide who's in front and who gets what position could be a little bit entertaining. So it makes complete sense. It's just nice and easy to sit and complain about when it costs you position. So.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, for sure. You're a racing driver, Ben. What can we expect?
Well, yeah, quite. I mean, I need an excuse somewhere, don't I? So I need to find some sort of excuse to use. So, but no, it was good fun. I sent a good move on Jason, which didn't break his car. He then got headed shortly after, which did break his car. And then my car was broken by Alex in one of his many moves. Which sent me to the back, and then it was a case of fighting back through again. And then in the last 15 laps, the track was a skating rink, and no one had any grip at all. We were all just pinging off each other at every corner,
yeah,
which is great. And I managed to make the most of it before the last yellow. I seemed to be like the fastest car on track. I closed up to Aaron and Brian before they had their wee issue, and then closed in and overtook Alex, albeit with a bit of force. But I didn't quite have the legs on the restart. I was just more focused on making sure I sort of stayed where I was instead of not going backwards. So.
Well, that's
great cars, great track.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful combo. But you've got to think about the championship. You've closed in the point gap on Jason, which is one of the important things. And at the end of the day, when the grip is that low at the end, you sort of have to just dial it back a little bit, don't you, and just manage the lap by lap situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think looking at, because Jason was 4th, I believe, so
yeah.
I think the gap will be 1 point in his favour, which is obviously really nice and close. It's just a bit annoying knowing that had that caution rule not been in effect, it would be, I think, maybe 1 point the other way. So, but it's close. We're only halfway through the season, so, and I think as well with this, now that we've done like the majority of like the wee oval ones, the grids will start getting bigger as well again for the end of the season, so that should always be quite good as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Having small grids for, especially a smaller grid of like 8 cars or something like this is perfect. You don't need any more cars than that, it just becomes too busy. So, but
yeah,
that's
that's
to see more folk back.
And especially when you've got a lot of drivers that are inexperienced as well, they're only doing it as a one-off. It becomes, no disrespect to people that are inexperienced in these cars, but it becomes more hassle than it's worth because it just becomes a yellow flag fest then. So it was the perfect grid size tonight. I agree on that, and it was a lot of fun to watch. But of course, always fun to speak to you, Ben. Next time we're going to be doing the wonderful V8 supercars around Montreal. That's going to be a hell of a night, isn't it?
Yes, I approve that message. Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
Track.
Oh, what a track as well.
Track. Yeah.
Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before you go, mate?
As always, yourself, Alex, Adam at Vertex, and of course now as well, HBD and Yaz Motorsport. Big shout out to them because I'm very fortunate to be working with them this year.
Awesome.
Through the Honda Driver Academy, so that's new ventures on the horizon. Excited for that, and yeah, it's just nice to be surrounded by a good group of people doing things like this. Is what makes it worthwhile and enjoyable, and it's motivation to keep coming back, even if you don't like the car, you don't like the track. You've got good company, so it's worth being there. For the guys who are here anyway, so. For
sure, mate. Smashing stuff. Great to speak to you, Ben. Well done tonight, mate. Good comeback.
You as well, mate.
And I'll see you soon.
Nice one. Later on, mate.
Cheers. Wonderful. Always good to speak to Ben. He's a wonderful lad. And the man that finished just about ahead of him after fighting, again, tooth and nail for every bit of it. The boss man. Another win, Alex. You must be pleased with that, mate, because it didn't look easy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had literally no idea what I'm doing. I still don't. But now ended up winning. So yeah, no, it was so much fun. It's something that has been a massive box to tick on like my real racing bucket list, something I really want to try. So yeah. It's cool to obviously have a little go of it, a little taste of it, and yeah, just so much fun, so different to everything else we normally do, everything that in my head makes sense and what you should be doing in a car, to kind of like reset and relearn and try and figure it out, obviously in 20 minutes practice and then go racing. So yeah, no, a lot of fun, and obviously it's always nice to end up with a win as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the the development of the track and the way the cars behave, it's all just very different to the conventional style of racing. You know, even compared to normal asphalt oval racing, it's just a different kettle of fish. But speak to me first off about the track development, because you get more of a visual representation of what the track's doing in dirt racing, but that doesn't mean that it's any easier, does it?
Yeah, for sure. It's easier to know what you should be doing, but obviously putting it into practice is a whole different thing. And you know, you can see it, obviously everyone starts off at the top, as you can run a bit of a shallower line, carry a bit more speed. There's a bit more banking up there. And obviously all the dirt is pushed up to the top to give you a bit of a cushion that you can lean on and help you to obviously carry more speed. But then obviously with every car running there, it quickly wears out, and you see this kind of dry or dug out area where it becomes rutty, and a lot of the surface is kind of taken away, and then it becomes super slick, and you lose a bunch of grip, so you have to go search around and find something else. And this track especially, it's a weird one. There's, you know, there's the bottom, but then there's kind of a car's width at the bottom that has no banking at all, up to where those tires are kind of dug into the ground. So you know, there's different ways of how you can use that, and you saw that everyone then slowly started to migrate to the bottom as the top got worn out.
Yeah.
But then obviously the same happens to the bottom, and the surface gets dug up, and you lose grip there as well. And then you get to a point where it's the same all the way down the straight. So even if you're struggling in the corner, you get that drive off from the fresh dirt on the straight, and then you lose that, and you kind of stuck no matter what you do, and it's just a bit of survival or grabbing what you can and trying to throw some dirt in the right direction. So it's challenging for sure, and yeah, you're effectively racing the racetrack and racing yourself just as much as you are the guys around you. And you know, it's a case of finding what works at that point in a stint, rather than finding a line and being consistent and perfect every lap in the same spot. So that side of it's pretty cool as well, that, you know, there's a lot more to think about, there's a lot more to, you know, kind of take in and learn about and adapt to, and yeah, it makes it even more challenging.
It certainly looks it. I mean, we saw a lot of people that were lap by lap, you know, they'd take a low line to try and get track position down the inside, maybe come up and then block the person on the high line. But then the next corner, they'd have done the low line a few times and washed off a lot of speed. So just to build up that momentum again, they'd suddenly jump up to the high line for a corner or two, build up the momentum, and then chuck it down low again. It's just incredible to see people's versatility like that. And the fact that they've got to do that while trying to watch what everyone else is doing, and with all the overlaps of all the different drivers, it's a bit mental. But even still, a wonderful event tonight, plenty of fun and non-stop action all the same on such a tiny circuit. As ever though, Alex, is there anybody you'd like to give a quick shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, everyone competing. Obviously we've got quite, you know, a small grid, but a pretty talented grid, and obviously great fun guys to talk with, to race with. You know, everything's been pretty entertaining so far, so thank you to them for taking part, obviously yourself for doing the broadcast side of things, everyone at Vertex, everyone watching, yeah, just everyone who's obviously a part of the series.
Smashing. Great to speak to you again, Alex. Well done tonight, mate. Another win in the bag, and hopefully more of the same next time around as we go to Montreal in the supercars. That's going to be heaven on earth for me.
Absolutely, it couldn't be much different, really, could it? So no, it'll be a lot of fun there. I think you know, somewhere where a few of the guys in this series will be a lot more comfortable, have a bit more experience to start off with. So it should be interesting to obviously see who comes out on top there.
Indeed. Well, we'll certainly look forward to it, Alex. Thanks again, mate. We'll see you very soon.
Cool. Cheers, Chaz.
Cheers. Well, there we go, everybody. That is the end of another fantastic evening here on Vertex eSports. Alex Sedgwick takes the win from Ben Kreener, Aaron Smith, Jason Glenn, Justin Nair, Brian Krause, Pete Harrod, and Mark Murphy here at Limaland in the UMP Modified cars. But that is all we have time for this evening. Thanks once again to everybody watching. Thanks to those of you that have liked the video and, of course, subscribed to Vertex eSports, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. Make sure you catch us in 2 weeks' time. As mentioned, we're going to be at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal for 3 races in the wonderful and incredible Aussie supercars. My name is Chaz Draycott. Thanks very much for joining us this evening, everyone. We will see you again very soon.